Hello, everyone, on this Thursday afternoon. It's nice and warm, and things are going on. We got Third Thursday going on out here on Main Street. You may hear some people walk across the ceiling here, and but anyway, you may not be able to pick that up. So hopefully that's not a problem. So anyway, thanks for being here with us today, and that you're tuned in to an encouraging word with Doug. And we got some things we want to share with you. Hopefully, we can communicate this in a way that will be helpful to you and be meaningful to you, and that will help you navigate your way through life. So, anyway, thanks for listening again, and hopefully, you can find something in here that'll be beneficial. Uh, Last week, I had two funeral services that I've officiated. Pastor Hank and I did Larry Passmore, and something that I shared in the service, and basically I just pointed out the 12 things that we need to remember. It was an item that was sent in by the family, by Larry's brother, and I thought it was interesting information, so I've kind of went over and expanded it and put some of my thoughts and some scriptures into this. So hopefully some of this will be beneficial for you. And 12 things that you should always remember in life. And most of these things I would say most of you know, or that you've known them, but you may have not have paid attention to them, or maybe you've even forgotten them. So growing up in life, we gathered so much information. We've gotten it from our parents, from teachers, from preachers, from coaches, different areas of input that's been into our life, and that we have taken this information, but we've kind of let it kind of sift through our fingers. Some might say that we've even taken our eye off the ball, a baseball term. You know, when you're up to bat, you need to watch the ball. And when you're trying to catch the ball, you got to watch the ball. So we really need to keep our eye on the ball so that we can, make the hit, make the catch, that we can facilitate correctly in life. And so we have to be focused on what's going on. Here's some things that we're going to suggest that you either remember, recall, refresh, apply into your life. First one is the past cannot be changed. Now, that sounds pretty simple, but, there's a lot of times that folks they get into a situation and they keep trying to change the past. They don't like the way the past events took place. Maybe it's loss, maybe it's something else, maybe somebody did something to them, and so they're angry, they're vengeful, they're upset, and they're always trying to change the past. And the fact of it is, we can't change the past. There's nothing we can do about the past. And if we continue to dwell on the past, we're actually taking our present life energy and putting it in, wasting it, putting it, trying to change something that's not changeable. Okay? And as long as we hold on to the past and say that I don't like it, it must change, it drags us down, or it drags us back. And it puts us in a place of being stuck mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, financially. Okay, we lose hope, and oftentimes we'll give up. The past cannot be changed. I mean, intellectually, we all know that, right? But yet sometimes, I've even had it myself when my dad died. I didn't like it the way that it was. And so I'll be honest with you, I was mad about it. And the reason why I was mad, that's a way of trying not to accept reality the way it was, or change the past to line up with what I want. and it doesn't work. That's what the grief cycle is all about. Okay? Number 2, opinions don't define your reality. Other people's opinions, they don't define your reality. Okay? That one thing that we need to remember is that we fail to understand in life that people always have opinions about everything. Good things, bad things, average things. They have opinions about everything, and oftentimes they don't mind expressing them. And so we need to recognize that other people's opinions, they don't define our reality. We define our reality by what we choose to think and act upon. Does that make sense? So we have to, we need to focus on what our opinion is. Now, we need to listen to other people's opinions to the degree that, hey, if it's a good idea, if it makes sense, if it's rational, if it's logical, if it works, then we may need to make some adjustments. But just to totally react on other people's opinions means that you're letting them run your life, and that's not going to work out well for you, okay, or anyone. Number 3, everyone's journey is different. Man, oh man, that is so true. And the fact of it is that we're all unique. We're all we all have a design, a makeup that is specific to us. There's never been another like us in the history of mankind, nor will there ever be. Okay, we are unoriginal, one of a kind. Really, we are somebody, and God made us that way for a reason. He has a reason and a purpose for us to be the way we are. Now, there are some things that we have to work out. We have to adjust some because sometimes we get twisted up, okay? But that's part of our process, and that's the reason why the grace of God is so beneficial, so important. And that's good. And I just want to say this on my notes. I thought it was a good point, and that is that even twins, identical twins, are not totally identical. Okay, because there are some differences. We've had some identical twins here in the church, and you had to study pretty hard to figure out, which one's which. But there are some differences, and you can do it. You just have to look. Jeremiah 29:11. This is God speaking to us out of this scripture. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you." God's got a plan for you. He's got a plan. He's got something for you, even if you don't know it. Number 4, judgment are not about you. People's judgments. People that make judgments about you, oftentimes it's not even about you. People judge you and evaluate you and maybe prescribe some sort of way they see you as being. But you know what? People again judge people. Out of John it says, "Judge not, lest you be judged." Because whatever manner you judge, you will be also judged. So we have to be careful. We need to be very careful about judging, because whatever we send out is going to be coming back to us, and that we need to realize. Now, even if we know that, but sometimes we take it personally, these judgments. Okay, and I know it's hard, but you really have to let the judgments go. Yes, you look at them and see if there's any validity in it. And process them, okay? You don't, because we want to learn and grow, because oftentimes our enemies or our foes, that our detractors, also can be some of our best teachers, because they can point out some things, but that doesn't mean that they're totally true. They could have some valid points to them, though, okay? But so people's judgments doesn't mean that it's about you necessarily, because a little secret is, because oftentimes people judge out of their own reflection what's going on in their life. They wouldn't even recognize a misstep if they didn't have that misstep most of the time in their own life. Think about it. Okay. Number 5, overthinking will lead to sadness. Overthinking will lead to sadness. Now, you know that ruminating and going over the problem, you keep thinking about the problem. And so the fact of it is, what you want is want a solution, but you're not thinking about any creative ways to create a solution. You keep thinking about the same problem. You keep going over the same information over and over and over, and that actually wears you out. It affects you mentally and emotionally, and it will wear you down. So you need to be willing to recognize the problem, okay, and then you have to begin to seek the solution. And you don't seek the solution by continuing to think about the problem or what you're worried about. Because, see, going over and over and over and over and over, continually overthinking the situation is worry, okay? And we all know what worry gets us. It gets us it can make us sick. It can get us in a bad way, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So we want to create a solution, but if we keep overthinking things, then what we're going to do is create a problem. So we need to let go of this overthinking. Yes, you need to think thoroughly, but once you've done it, then you have to. Your brain is amazing instrument, and when you got the problem and you ask the question, what's the solution here? Oftentimes I'll say, now let's think creatively. What does that mean? Well, think outside the box, outside the lines. All right. Well, what's the possibility? Who might know something about this? Who could give me some insight on that? What information could I seek? Where could I go for some direction, some ideas? I wonder who's had this problem before. If they've had it before, they may have a solution, or maybe they found somebody that had a solution. So anyway, and overthinking only will make you sad or worse. Okay. All right. Number 6, happiness is found within. Okay. Happiness is found within. And that means oftentimes when we're looking for something to help us, we look outside, okay, instead of inside. And happiness is inside. That's kind of like looking for sunshine in a cave. You're inside of a black cavern, and you're looking for sunshine. Well, you need to go outside. You need to look outside. And I just had this thought came up to me. Einstein said, "You can't solve a problem using the same mind that created it. So you have to think different thoughts." Okay. So happiness, you have to begin to. It's found on the inside. And number 7, your thoughts affect your mood. Now, I would be surprised that most people wouldn't know that. I mean, if nothing else, you've observed people that had thoughts, and when they were displeased, upset, or tired, or grumpy, or hangry. You know the word hangry. That's anger and hunger put together. They could be affected. It affects their mood. Okay, and you know this already, but your brain is constantly thinking, and we need to really choose what we're going to allow our brain to feed on. If we just go let it feed on some more misery or sadness or bitterness or anger, or watch things on TV that just that that are not mentally, emotionally uplifting, then that will just feed our thinking, our mood, our behaviors into that direction. So what we need to do is we need to think good things. We need to have positive thoughts. Philippians 4:8 says, "Think on these things," and that's good things, virtuous things. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things, and He'll keep your heart and your mind. Okay, so um, we need to direct our thinking. I talk about that a lot, and hopefully we got that. Number 8, smiles are contagious. Smiles are contagious. Smiles. They've done research, scientific research on the effects of smiles, how it affects other people, and that if you smile, it affects other people, and it touches them, and oftentimes they will smile, and even if they don't smile, they're affected. And people that observe that happening also are affected. They're uplifted, and I hear, I heard somebody talk about the other day that they were going through one of the lines here, convenience food places, fast food places, and somebody actually wanted to get in line, and they let them in, and when they got up there, the person that they allowed into the line actually bought their meal for them, and that really touched them, and they were very glad that they were that they let them in, and that they were nice to them, and it was a very pleasant experience. And I know that's not directly linked to smiles, but he enjoyed that, and he smiled a lot more, and so smiles are contagious, and they affect ourselves. It affects our brain. It affects our body. And so, what we need to do is we need to smile more and frown less, because there's people out there that need it. Okay? Number 9, kindness is free. Man, here a few weeks ago, I talked about kindness and research on kindness and how it affects people. But kindness is caring for other people, even if they don't return the kindness. We just need to be kind anyway, right? We need to be kind. Why? Why? Because it benefits them, but it also benefits us. It's the truth. Even if your kindness isn't reciprocated directly, and it benefits you. It affects you physiologically. Your chemistry is changed. Okay, and kindness doesn't cost you anything, and so we're fortunate to be able to be kind, but when we give, anything we give is given back to us. Okay, and so and if we can be kind, then what we're doing is we're sowing seeds to make the world better. And shouldn't we be trying to make the world better? We sure don't want to make it worse, right? All right, number 10, it's okay to let go and move on. Letting go is scary. It's tough. We don't want to leave where we are to go someplace that we don't know, because we don't know what's there. We may not like where we're at, but we don't know what's over there, so we're afraid to make a move. But it's okay. It's okay to let go and move on. In fact, if we don't do that, then we're stuck. We're stagnant. We're not able to grow. We're not moving. We're not developing. And so what we need to do is we need to be willing to let go of those things that we've held on to. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's places, sometimes it's things. And I'm not saying that you just have to let go of everything, but those things that are holding you back. You know the things that are keeping you bound up. And so those things you need to let go of, particularly if it's addictions or sick thinking or toxic behaviors or emotions. So even though it's scary to make a change, it's healthy, it's beneficial. So it's important for us to be willing to let go of some things so that we can grab a hold of other things. You can't grab, I mean, if your hand's full of all kinds of stuff now and you don't like what you got, that means you have to let go of what you don't like so that you can grab something that has a greater possibility. What do you think about that? So, number 11, what goes around comes around. You've heard that statement so much, and it is important to recognize that there is a power that it's kind of like whatever you give out comes back to you. Scripture says, cast your bread on the water, and many days it'll come back to you. Okay, and it's like an echo. An echo is you send it out, and it creates an echo, and then you hear it back. It comes back to you. So what you send out, it's dynamically pure. It comes back to you. So we need to treat others in the way that we want them to treat us. That kind of sounds like the golden rule, right? Golden rule is do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. Matthew 7:12. There is another proverb that says that one's actions and behaviors will eventually have consequences for you, even if they're indirectly. Whatever you sow, according to the scriptures, you're going to reap. So let's plant some good stuff out there, right? Some things I've already talked about. Number 12, and this is the last one. It says, and I've changed this just a little bit. I wrote this down. Most things get better with time. The original one was things always get better in time, and I think it's a little better to say most things get better with time. Nothing really can get better without time, okay? But time alone doesn't fix things or make things or allow things to get better. But time is a real principle in the process, because without allowing time to pass, then you're just, well, what are you? Stuck, right? So, but time can make things better, and that with a hope, and I know sometimes it's hard, but the fact of it is we have to find that hope for a brighter tomorrow. That's that purpose that we talked about a while ago, that we know that we have a purpose and a design. Yes, life is hard. That's a guaranteed fact. Life is hard, and it is a ceaseless effort. But with a purpose, we have that internal fulfillment that fills us and that helps to propel us in through life. So what we need to do is we need to recognize that whatever is going on, this too shall pass. Okay, and we'll see. We'll see. At the darkest time, at the night, that the sun will rise again. One thing that we have to do, and I tell people all the time, we just cannot sabotage ourselves. We just can't dig a hole and then pull the hole in after us. Some people do that. And so what we have to do is we have to really look at what we're talking about here, and it's all about perspective. We need to try to gain perspective. Dr. Carolyn Leaf calls it the multiple view perspective. And that is that when you're in the middle of a situation or just you're in life, if you can just back up a little bit from that present view and see it from a wider angle and see the possibilities of other things that could happen, that you get a bigger view, okay? Sometimes they say, a 1,000-mile view or a sky view. Things look differently then, and this multiple view perspective advantage that we have is to see that oftentimes we get so narrowed down and focused, and we go into that what I mentioned a while ago about this overthinking, and we think about this one little bitty thing, but it's bigger than that. Okay, and when we are able to back up and see that, yes, that is a concern, but that's not the only concern. There are all kinds of good things going on, and there's multiple pieces happening. And you know what? God is working in these things, and that according to Romans 8:28, causing those things to come to pass for my good. And that I can't, just because I can't see it, don't mean that it's not happening. So anyway, we're going to conclude with this. And so hopefully some of this was beneficial. And I just want to say, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you, and he'll give you peace. Until next time, make healthy choices, and really do take care of yourself. Bye-bye.